It's Sim, and this is Off the Market. Now, I've been itching to do a video like this. Like, if you know anything about me, which you don't, I am a huge insurance nerd. Like, every time I give an analogy to my clients about marketing, about operations, business, I'm always like, look, I don't know if you have noticed about GEICO. Have you been paying attention to that campaign by State Farm? Like, I am obsessed. And insurance is actually where I got started, so it makes sense. I feel like where you get started has a big part of how you do everything else, you know? So this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down when I got pregnant my last year of undergrad. So I had plans of moving back to New York City, having this elaborate, beautiful life and career in film, and life happened to me. I did not happen to life. And so instead of moving back to NY, I decided to stay back in Buffalo, New York and work and build up some money so that I could actually move to Atlanta. So I was working at K Jewelers on the weekends, and then I was working at 9 to 5 in sales at GEICO on the weekdays. But you know what? If I could go back and do it all over again, I would do the same thing because it absolutely changed my life. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about it.
Also, I have kids, so you're probably going to hear them in the background. My bad.
So I had the pleasure of meeting really dope people in GEICO, like Tony Nicely, for example. He was the executive chairman at GEICO. He actually retired in 2021. And I did opt out of meeting Warren, and I'm going to explain why. I was good on the whole come and get some Freezy Pops and a hug and a picture. Like, for what? Like, are you going to tell me how to make $1 million or not? Not. I was good on it. But yes, Warren literally used to come to the office in Buffalo and give these like frozen goodies because what were they called? Deli bars or something like that. He had like a company out there with shares. So he would, kill two birds with one stone. Very sweet man. But neither here nor there. While I was working at GEICO, we were all stockholders. There was a percentage of our pay that would go towards a stock. And so it was important to the company that we understood business operations, marketing, how our roles affected the overall success of the business. And a lot of people would join these meetings and just be very tuned out, tapped out, and like, I don't know, But there was so much that I was constantly learning. It was like they were literally giving wealth away in these meetings. So today, I want to bring you into why I admire this company, and I want to use its ups and downs to explain to you how you can apply some of these skills and strategies and techniques to your own business operations. I feel like this one is really going to be a game changer for my creatives who blew up and now feel stuck about how to attain sustainability or leverage over their competition, right? So like if you went viral or you got the one client who went up or you figured out a genius way to market your hero product and now you're at a plateau, this one's for you. Let's just start here, right? As far as market share goes, GEICO ranks number 2, where State Farm sits at number 1. Now, they're very close in the market, but one of the top reasons for that is business model. So real quick, in case you're wondering, market share means that out of the amount of dollars spent in your industry, this is how much is being spent on you, essentially. So State Farm operates with an agent-based business model. GEICO operates with a direct-to-sales consumer model. Now, we can talk about why that has affected their difference in market share in a moment, but I first want to focus on how GEICO rose to the top so quickly, even after being founded nearly 10 years after State Farm. And the reason that's important is because, like I said, I really want to connect to my guys who went viral, to my guys who blew up, and are like, I had something that was working, but now it's not working no more. So what's going on, right? Okay, so number 1. The first thing that GEICO did, well, not the first thing, we're going to talk about the first thing that they did that really got them on the map. But one of the big things that GEICO did that a lot of companies were not doing at the time is direct response advertising, right? Getting a direct response from whoever's viewing. So this is the practice of focusing on call to actions rather than spreading the word about your brand's identity. And if you are in the year 2023, then this seems normal for you. Most people are doing call to actions. You know what a call to action is because you see people talk about it on social media all the time. But traditional branding focused on what the company can do for you rather than what the company wanted you to do. There was a time where people were just on these commercials talking about, hey, we're the best and we're better than the rest. And GEICO was like, you should try to save some money, and that was a new type of conversation. So they were getting to the point. Now, they started this strategy in 1999, and by 2002, they were able to hit 5 million policies in force. And so when we're on TikTok, when we're on Snapchat, when we're on Instagram stories, we can do the easy thing like go ahead and put a link for our product right in the stories and tell people like, I want you to click this. I want you to click this because I put it there, right? But what GEICO did was they broke the fourth wall within their industry. They paid attention to what others were doing and they made a small change in their own approach. And the payback was undeniable. So that is their viral moment. That's the moment where they've got everyone's attention. And now people are like, oh, okay, you said to call you. All right, bet I'm about to call you. All right, bet. So number 2, they embrace change. A lot of times companies are not willing to make changes or take on the tech knowledge they need to know how to incorporate change into their company. GEICO has always paid attention to their customer trends and their behaviors and made changes in their company accordingly. So there are things, again, for you guys may seem normal, may seem like this is how it always was, this is what was always going on. It's not. So the short hold times, you will never be on hold for a GEICO for longer than 2 minutes. If you are, send a letter because that person will be like, oh, they don't play about that. Short hold times are essential because they want people to feel like we care. Your time matters to us. We're not just keeping you out here just all willy-nilly or whatever. 24/7 human service. You can always talk to a human at any time at GEICO. GEICO was paying attention to the things that people were annoyed with. People were tired of being on hold all the time. They were tired of talking to robots. They didn't understand their rates. They didn't understand, well, how come I'm paying this but she's paying that? They did not understand these things. So GEICO got rid of these long hold times and now they focus on short hold times. You're able to sit on hold for less than 30 seconds and be able to speak to somebody. And then collaboration with companies who provided products that other customers needed. Collaborations with companies who provided products within customer needs and outside of the company's services. So this way, if I need homeowners insurance or boat insurance or motorcycle insurance, I don't have to get off of a call with GEICO. I can just be transferred to that department, or they can put me onto multi-lines who can put everything together for me all at once. It just makes everything so much more convenient. The number 3 thing that GEICO thing got right was omnipresence. So a lot of brands only exist on social media, specifically Instagram. And I'm talking about small businesses, entrepreneurs. A lot of them only exist on social media because that's the only place that they can exist. But if you are only existing in one place, you're limiting where you're able to reach people and what you're able to do with your marketing efforts. Now, GEICO exists everywhere. Of course, GEICO has millions of dollars, but it is possible if you're creative to exist in more than one place all the time. I don't care if that's putting up a flyer in the city that you exist in, or that's getting on radio again. I mean, people getting on a podcast. There are ways for you to exist in more places than just social media. There are actually many successful businesses that don't exist on social media and are bringing in millions of dollars. So another conversation for another day, but the omnipresence of GEICO being everywhere all the time, on the radio ads, on buses, on flyers, in collaborations, on sponsorship, like they have been everywhere. So when you think about insurance, you think about GEICO. Number 4, data-driven decision-making. Warren Buffett joined GEICO as a stockholder when he was just a business student, straight out of Columbia University, meaning that he ain't had no money. This was 1951. But 40 years later, he purchased a bunch of stock, enough to make GEICO a subsidiary of his company. Come on, money! I'm just saying, God, I see what you've done for others. Listen, put your stock down and then put your foot down later. But anyway, every decision Warren made on behalf of GEICO was driven by results in the market, results in the company, and trends he could track on paper. GEICO, as a result, operated 10 steps ahead of the consumer experience and 20 steps ahead of competitor expectations. So they were blowing their competition out of the water. It didn't matter who came before them or who was coming next. They were paying attention to how are you moving. You ever heard that saying? It's like a thing that talks about, if I spend 30 days around you, I can know everything that you know. If you pay enough attention to your competitors because they are publicly doing these things, there's so much that you can learn about their strategies and operations. But if all you do is go on your own Instagram all the time and all you are doing is on, baby, you're not making no money for real. You can't tell me you're making no money because you're not. So marketing is marketing for GEICO. If they wanted to, they could start a consulting agency and they could have my money at this point. But let's talk operations, right? Because now we want to get into the question. GEICO is doing all of these amazing things. They're making money. They're making moves. They're getting investors. They have people that are seeing something in their company that has never been done before. So why aren't they number one? Operations. Let's talk about Lillian Goodwin. Lillian Goodwin was a bookkeeper. Lillian Goodwin was also the co-founder of GEICO. Her man Leo, her husband, let's put some respect on it. He started the company and she worked with him every single step of the way. She did everything from underwriting to accounting and worked up to 12 hours a day. And she was the one that actually came up with the concept for niching to government employees. If you don't know, GEICO stands for Government Employee Insurance Company. Yeah.
I was like, what the O stand for?
Company code. Okay. So she came up with this concept. She was like, look, we're going to only give insurance to the government employees because they're the underserved people. And we're going to, give them good deals and blah, 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 make them feel like we got them, be all personable with them. And, we're going to make it do what it do. And because of this niche, she was able to scale the company to 3,700 policies and hire 12 staff members as a result. So with all of this exponential growth, out of this world marketing foundation, operations foundation is dope, somebody's super involved, yada yada. Why isn't GEICO number one? Simple. They're obsessed with a tech-reliant company that directly contradicts their foundation. So one thing I noticed about State Farm customer service is that the agents build a personal rapport with their clients. Everything at GEICO was so efficiency-based that there was no time for genuine relationship building. We had time limits to meet, deadlines to get ahead of. Efficiency was a priority and not the client. Whereas the foundation of this company, the client was the priority. So I say that to say, I noticed that a lot of times people get successful and then begin to work hard at efficiency in their day because they don't want to be involved in the day-to-day of the operations. They want to be pulled out. They want to be free. And I get that. But they don't consider what's efficient for the audience who supports them, the people that have come to be a part of the thing that they now can say is a success. They don't even understand that audience and who they are well enough. Looking at GEICO's audience, because they're so obsessed with efficiency, they've attracted an audience who is also obsessed with efficiency. But an audience that appreciates efficiency also values convenience. And when things stop getting too convenient, like them rates go up, you don't like your claim agent, yada yada, they move on to whatever else is more convenient, and this creates a customer loyalty issue for GEICO. Whereas State Farm, customers are family-oriented, relationship-focused people who value trust and reputation, and many of them are referred by friends and family who've been with Cheryl, Daisy, Lenora for years. So they haven't even just been with State Farm, they've been with the agents. They've been in relationship with these people, and I'm not leaving Daisy for nothing. So it's not enough to get at the top of your game. There's something that you did to get you there. And in order to stay there, you have to keep that thing with you. So what does that look like? It looks like doing a case study on yourself, just like I did this case study of GEICO. I want you to ask yourself the following questions. Who are you? What do you do? What was the thing that accelerated your brand? Who needs you? And what makes them spend money with you? How would you describe your brand's personality? What do they buy from you? And why do they buy from you? And why do they buy from you and not from them? Are you even a part of the market conversation? And if you are, how much? How are you adapting to change and trends? What does brand sustainability mean to you? Now, once you have all of those things figured out, and you can also use it against your competitors, I want you to watch that one video that I did about what a marketing director does, so that if you can get a marketing director, you know what you need to get out of that experience. And if you can't, you can go ahead and get your own plan going. See you next week.